We have read about Alexei de Tocqueville for the past few days now and how he went to America to serve democracy. Little did we know he had a second agenda, that being the rehabilitation system within prison systems. The relevance of Tocqueville's impact on prison systems is the fact that we still use concepts and principles similar to his. Tocqueville's impact on the rehabilitation system within prison systems has remained relevant today, as evidenced by recent programs promoted within prison associations. My speech covers Tocqueville's experience in America and his influence on prison reform, recent changes in prison systems, and similar rehabilitative measures with modern prison systems. So, what did Tocqueville exactly experience and influence in America? Although his primary objective during his visit to the United States was to study the prison system, his findings and recommendations had a lasting impact on the development of the American rehabilitation system. Tocqueville's visit to the United States allowed him to observe firsthand the American approach to criminal justice and incarceration. Tocqueville's interest in studying the concept of rehabilitation within prison systems stemmed from his recognition of its potential to reform prisoners, reintegrate them into society, and challenge the prevailing punishment-oriented approaches back in Europe at the time. Back in France, Tocqueville and Beaumont published a report on their findings titled On the Penitentiary System within the United States and its Application in France in 1833. This outlined their observations and proposed reforms for the French prison systems. Influenced by their experiences in America, Tocqueville advocated for the penitentiary systems that focus on the rehabilitation and reformation of prisoners rather than purely punishment measures. His ideas were instrumental in shaping the development of prisons not only in France but also in other countries, including the United States. Now that you understand a bit more about Tocqueville's relation to prison systems, let's look into an American and an American-owned group that have taken upon themselves to change the prison systems and embody what Tocqueville strived for. This person and association who embodies Tocqueville's ideas about prison reform are Thomas Eddy and the National Prison Association, now known as the American Correctional Association. Thomas Eddy was a philanthropist and a prison reformer. He founded the Society for Reformation of Juvenile Delinquents in New York. Eddy's decision to establish the society was to emphasize a humane program of reformation rather than punishment, according to the founder's archives. This reflects a shared belief in the potential of rehabilitation for young offenders, which aligns with Tocqueville's ideas. Tocqueville's writing and the broader discourse on prison reform at the time played a huge role in shaping Eddy's perspectives and the establishment of his society. The American Correctional Association was founded in 1870. According to ACA's website, it is developed specifically for practitioners in the correctional professions. This association has a goal of promoting prison reform and improving the conditions and treatment of prisoners. While the direct influence of Tocqueville on the formation of the association is not explicitly documented, its principles and objectives align with Tocqueville's ideas about prison rehabilitation. The American Correctional Association sought to implement Tocqueville's ideas by working towards the introduction of education programs and classification systems in prisons. These exist to address the underlying cause of criminal behavior and equip prisoners with the necessary skills to reintegrate back into society successfully. Now that we have covered some older examples of changes within the prison systems, let's go on to the newer ones. Example of Tocqueville's ideas of prison reform being applied are restorative justice practices and alternatives to incarceration. Restorative justice, a concept aligned with Tocqueville's emphasis on rehabilitation, has gained attention in recent years. Restorative justice practices are rooted in the idea of repairing the harm caused by the crime, addressing the needs of the victims, and holding the offenders accountable. According to the Office of Justice's programs, rather justice as punishment, restorative justice conceives of justice as repair to the harm caused by the crime and conflict. These practices align with Tocqueville's emphasis on rehabilitation and the recognition of the potential of reforming offenders. In restorative justice approaches, victims, offenders, and community members come together in a process to discuss the impact of the crime, to express their feelings, and to work towards a resolution, and hopefully eventually leading to reintegration of the offender. Tocqueville's idea about rehabilitation has contributed to the exploration of alternatives to traditional incarceration. Diversion programs such as drug courts, mental health courts, and community-based sentencing options aim to address this underlying cause of criminal behavior and provide individuals with the support they need to reintegrate into society. Diversion programs, for example, offer individuals the opportunity to receive treatment and counseling instead of going through the traditional criminal justice system. By focusing on addressing the root causes of criminal behavior, these practices reflect Tocqueville's ideas of prison reform. They prioritize rehabilitation and align with the belief that punishment alone is not sufficient enough to bring about meaningful change. Overall, the restorative justice practices and alternatives in incarceration exemplify the application of Tocqueville's ideas of prison reforms in general. They represent efforts to move away from traditional incarceration methods and approaches and recognizing the potential for rehabilitation, and they promote more inclusive and effective systems of justice. In conclusion, Alexis de Tocqueville's experience in America and his influence on prison reform has indeed shaped the ideals of individuals and continue to inspire changes in modern prison systems. His insights during his travels in the United States serves as a catalyst for reimagining the purpose and methods of incarceration. Tocqueville's first-hand exposure to the American prison system, which was rehabilitation over punishment, challenged the prevalent European view of prisoners being more than just instruments of retribution. The impact of Tocqueville's ideas can be seen in the evolution of prison systems today. By recognizing the potential for reform and tailoring interventions to specific needs for each offender, modern prison systems are created more effective, more humane, and a more just environment. In this way, Tocqueville's experience in America and his influential writings have contributed to a shift in the prison reform philosophy today. His ideas have shaped the ideals of individuals working with the criminal justice system, thus leading to implementation of rehabilitative measures and individual approaches that aim to promote genuine transformation within the prison system. The continued relevance of Tocqueville's impact on the rehabilitation system within prisons is demonstrated by the implementation of recent prison programs that are similar to his ideology. I bet you didn't know that side of Tocqueville until now. You're welcome. Thank you for attentively listening to my speech, and I hope you have